It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good morning to you. Happy Wednesday, the 6th day of June, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. It's actually Tuesday, not Wednesday. It's so great to have you all riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. Huh?
Ryan thought it was Thursday.
Yeah, originally on the YouTube stream, I put Thursday, June 6th.
Hey, you know.
So this
we'll get it narrowed down.
It's a day. That's what it is.
Today is a day that this is very much is true. Good morning to all of our audience all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Our Myers Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. Danny Cahalan is a Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are you guys doing on this, well, whatever day this is? It could be Tuesday. It could be Wednesday. It could be Thursday. We don't really know what day this is.
I'm great. I woke up this morning. I was just telling Ryan, I was wondering whether I had worked one really crappy Tigers game or 2 Tigers games, because that was a long, crappy Tigers game yesterday.
Yeah, did you work that one against the Phillies?
I did, yeah. Joey Wentz. I know there's nobody else. Like, who are they going to start at, but he might have to go back to Toledo. He's just getting beat up.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate set of circumstances. They were close. Maybe this is the reality of the situation with the current roster, the way that it's made up.
It just hurts. You can see it with no Riley. It's just that bat is missing.
Do you think it would be the same if Torque was out?
No. No. Riley Green, I was saying he was he was going to be, I'm sure he's going, did they name the May Players of the Month? Because, he hit 368.
Yeah, Alex Lang was the reliever of the month. And then he gave a walk-off grand slam on June 1st. Or June 3rd, whatever. Days are hard this week.
Days are very hard this week. It is it's unfortunate, but with the amount of injuries, how close they were, it does kind of feel like the football was pulled from us right when we were getting ready to kick it. Right? It does kind of feel like that a little bit, that this is now our gross reality of Tigers baseball. And it didn't have to be this way, and it wasn't this way. But you can't. This team and this roster is not good enough to be able to overcome the injuries that they've sustained. There's no other way around it. So a little bit more on the Tigers coming up. A busy night last night. Stanley Cup Finals, game number 2. Wow, what a blowout. That if you thought game 1 got out of hand, game 2 was even worse. My goodness.
What did it end up? It was 4-0 like most of the game. What did it end up being?
7-3.
Oh.
7-2. 7-2.
Yeah, I turned it off at 3-0. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to bed.
Smart move. Smart move. Other people should heed that good word. Me. Just because it's like, well, what if there's an epic comeback? Yeah, okay. All right, that's a good idea. Sure. Whatever you say. That ain't happening. Vegas, I mean, it's easy to overreact, but this has been 2 games in which the Vegas Golden Knights just look like varsity versus JV right here. I mean, this is embarrassing. If you are the Florida Panthers in Vegas, I mean, you gotta.
Is it though? Like Br0's been standing on his head for, 4 rounds. It's just, it's bound to happen.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're bound to get beat 7-2 in a playoff game?
mean,
the most important game of your life.
Ask Jimmy Howard.
Look,
who won that cup?
They got some puck luck. They did. Vegas did. They got a couple of nice bounces, including their third goal. I believe it was their third goal. That bounced in behind Bob right before he got pulled, and he had no idea where it was at. Like he was still looking like out, and the puck was already in the net behind him. And Vegas was celebrating. He's like, "What's going on out here?" Like, there's nothing. There's nothing he can do. So I get that aspect of it, but yeah, they're getting rocked. Like this thing is over, which is unfortunate because I wanted it to go 7. Man, that's definitely not going to happen. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up real quick with all the happenings right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Detroit Tigers 8-3 losers last night. Joey Wentz takes the loss. He went 4 2/3, gave up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 walks, struck out 4, 2 home runs, threw 105 pitches. I don't know who was the last Tigers pitcher. It feels like it's been a while since somebody went triple digits in pitches, so at least he got that going on. The Bills broke ground on their new $1.54 billion stadium across the road from the Bills facility and Highmark Stadium. Dirt is being moved. Construction vehicles are in full work mode with, this is a big time deal for the Bills in the state of New York and Erie County. So they're going to get this hopefully ready by the start of the 2026 season. Cowboys release Antonio Callaway following his arrest. The wide receiver was released after being arrested last weekend in Miami for driving with a suspended license. Good for the Cowboys. Phoenix Suns are going to hire David Fizdale as an assistant coach. So that's bringing him out of Utah's front office. That's kind of interesting. He joined the Jazz's front office as associate GM last year. Fizz joins associate head coach Kevin Young on Frank Vogel's staff, who has been named the head coach for the Phoenix Suns. Vogel with a ring to his name. Brandon Ingram, Jared Jackson Jr. have both committed to play for Team USA in the World Cup. The FIBA Basketball World Cup Championships this summer is being played in the Philippines. I forgot all about this. The executive director of the team is Grant Hill. The head coach is Steve Kerr, and they're still working on completing their 12-man roster at the event that begins August 25th in Manila. The Thrilla in Manila.
I've heard the Philippines. My buddy was we were playing golf the other day. He was talking about the Philippines. It's like crazier than Thailand, apparently.
Oh yeah, and it's
like
cheap.
Nuts.
And it's cheap.
Like
you can fly from island to island.
Let's put it this way. You know how you order sushi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
what?
a checklist. That's how you can order other things there.
Oh, you're talking about female entertainment?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's nice. Philippines is nice. Weather's great, so I hear. The NBA is fine with Victor Wembanyama's debut happening in Sacramento. Why wouldn't they? It doesn't make a lot of sense if that's what's going to be happening. The San Antonio Spurs looking ahead to the schedule. Like, look, dude, I don't care where he plays at. It'll be on national television. And the Celtics are adding Sam Cassell to Joe Mazzulla's staff as an assistant coach. We'll step aside. We'll be back talking Tigers baseball. Plus, Dan and Ryan went to Media Day. We'll talk about that here on X's and Bros of the Michigan Sports Network.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at tullymoregolf.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
We're back here to X's and Bros, a step into a world of nonstop DraftKings action. Over at the DraftKings Casino, play the classics like blackjack, roulette, slots, my favorite, craps. Plus, everyone can enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers who deposit at least $5 can get a match on their first deposit and score up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. All you have to do is sign up, select the offer of your choice, and start playing from a full suite of games. Your way is the only way to play on the DraftKings Casino. Play online on your time, in your space, and within your means. Download the DraftKings Casino app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE and get a match on your first deposit of $5 or more, up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Only on DraftKings Casino, only using the promo code HUGE. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. One per opted-in customer, minimum $5 deposit, max match up to $2,000. Deposit and bonus amount requires 15 times playthrough within 30 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions do apply. Tigers yesterday, and we alluded to this a little bit beforehand, but I would expect to see more of this. I mean, the Philadelphia Phillies were 28 and 31 going into the game. So nothing crazy to write home about in yesterday's game. But I would expect to see more of this as the injury bug has now wiped out, 6 potential starters from this Tiger staff. You have the number one bat in the lineup is gone. You have Miguel Cabrera hitting 196. Like this team right now is a mess. And it's to no fault of their own, right? It wasn't the best roster assembled to begin with, but, at least there was something, right? There was something we could kind of hold on to a little bit. And, if guys are getting hurt, there's nothing you can do about that. And maybe you could say, well, hey, with the pitcher's arms, maybe there's a mechanics issue that we should be working on. And, I read somewhere it was about their stance and how much stress that puts on the elbow and, the angles in which, older generations pitched and the angle in relation to both of their legs, where they meet the ground at and where pitchers are at today. And
yeah. And we watched, Ryan sent us the video of Pedro Martinez talking 3 years ago about how Casey Mize was going to injure his elbow because of how he threw his split finger. And I said the other day that I knew from day one Michael Fulmer would have an arm injury just based on how he threw and his mechanics. You look at a guy like Jack Morris, who threw a split finger forever. He was extremely over the top. It's how you're supposed to throw it. So, yeah, you are right. The arm injuries are because of how they throw the ball.
Yeah, and part of it is, I'm sure, and I like the study that was done was like an independent it was like an independent journalist who was like, this is the problem, and it was the pitcher's relation, their feet to their groin, the angle that makes when they're throwing their actual pitch, the stress that puts on the arm. It was fascinating. And it wasn't anything that was done by like a Harvard-educated person. It was something, I don't know if it was DM'd to me or something I just came across on Twitter. It really was. I mean, I was like, wow, this is somebody put together. It was like 20 pages of reports on Tommy John and why it's happening and why, as the older generation pitched differently. I also think that this has something to do with the amount of work that kids are getting at the youth level, right? And so they're probably getting too many innings down there. They're over specializing. They're playing travel baseball for X amount of, and it's not just baseball. That's the issue. We see the same thing with some soft tissue issues at the NBA level. We're talking about guys that have had a lot of mileage on them. All of a sudden, only doing basketball related drills. That's why football coaches at the college level say they love 3-sport athletes. You want an offensive or defensive lineman that played football and that wrestled and that was involved in track and field or something that they're using a different part of their body and that they're giving their body some months off. And
especially if you're a baseball player, because like it is all about your quick twitch muscles. And in baseball, it's like you don't get to use them other than for literally like a half a second, and then you're standing around the entire time. So, yeah, basketball, hockey, stuff like that, that's great for baseball players because you're using your quick twitch muscles much more in those sports, but you need them so much in baseball.
So much. And you also need a time to go play something else. And I was talking to a parent, and this was last week, and they were talking about how his grandson was just finishing up the golf season, and they were already playing a summer league basketball. And I said, well, that's okay. And he's like, well, those guys are already out there. They've already got teams. And I said, that's okay. And he's like, well, I mean, he's going to fall behind. I'm like, no, he's not. He's fine. I was like, the school summer league program doesn't start until later. Like, that's the one you want to be a part of. It's fine if he's not going to go play AAU during the summer. Like, this idea that you have to do this is just, it's just preposterous. It truly is. If you want to do it, that's fine. But you're not going to lose your opportunity on a college scholarship because you missed a summer league because you were involved in a spring sport during your sophomore year of high school. Like, that's craziness. That's crazy. Like, you will be fine. Take a deep breath.
Yeah, there was actually, my mom always talks about this. We went to a camp like 5 or 6 years ago that SEMO and Cam Mabin were running. And one of the parents asked, like, we were just observing, and one of the parents asked, what advice can you give to youth parents? And he said, they don't give out scholarships at 13.
That's a great quote. That's a great quote.
So yeah, just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, just go out there and play. Go out there and play, learn the game. And as people that work in sports and people that cover, collegiate and professional sports for a living, like, guys, take a breath. Parents out there, take a step back. It's going to be okay. It truly is going to be okay. Like, that's, I feel bad for the kids. I do, because they don't know any different. And it can be fun. It can be exciting, right? It's not to say that, I didn't play travel sports, but it's like, it wasn't the end all be all. Like, my world is going to end. And maybe at the time I thought if I didn't make the team, my world is going to end. But, you played summer league basketball, like, locally. I didn't.
Come on, you could have been on our last place travel team, Anthony. You could have got your butts whipped. Could have got your butt whipped by North Farmington, West Bloomfield.
In what? What sport?
Baseball.
Oh, you could have enjoyed that because I didn't play. Hell no.
Oh, yeah. We were very bad, but we had fun.
And that's all that matters. That's literally all that matters. Like, they're kids, for God's sakes. I don't know how many times you got to have this conversation, but yeah, learn the game, learn about teamwork, go out there and have fun, learn about competition, maybe some sportsmanship. I don't know. And a lot of good lessons, but just run around the bases. Run around the bases and have a good time. Don't be, throwing your 15-year-old out there to pitch 300 innings in a summer. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if that's a legitimate number or not, to be honest with you. But however many innings they're pitching, take it down by 50 and see what happens. Maybe we can extend their career a little bit. This Tigers team, it just is not built to withstand the injury. If their roster was at 100%, they're playing right around 500 ball. That's awesome. Yeah, and they might be even better because you think about the pitchers that aren't available right now. They'd be even better. But right now, I mean, it's not looking great after that 8-3 loss last night. Lost 4 in a row. Now 6 games back at 500 at 26-32. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros. Maybe there's more to the JMO situation than meets the eye. What the players don't know about the NFL gambling policy. We'll jump into it next. Your X's and Bros Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, 2 things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer guest line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening all across the great state of Michigan. Ryan, I saw your retweet of that reporter that was dealing with some issues on live television with the stiff arm. I like her work. It's pretty solid. We had an issue like that happen with the Lions. Somebody tried to come up on the set and try to disrupt our program before he was met with a Heisman Award-winning stiff arm by your boy. So, yeah, being a reporter in the wilderness is not an easy thing to do. You know what else isn't easy to do? Finding your ball in the wilderness. That's why you need to go out there and you need to hit fairways. And the fairways you need to hit, they're located at Tullymore Golf Resort in Canadian Lakes, just located 1 hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. Hey, it's smack dab in the middle state, so it's easy to get to no matter where you are driving from. Tullymore not only features top-of-line golf, but also top-of-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing. Visit TullymoreGolf.com or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. Go see my good friend Matt Golden. Say hi to him, would you? All right, so I'm a big preacher of you are allowed to expand your opinion or change your opinion on the matter when more information becomes available. I'm a big proponent of this, right? There's no sense in digging your feet into the sand on something when more information becomes available in which you can be like, oh, that's interesting. And you can change your mind. It's okay. You're allowed to do that. I'm sure as a child, right, you thought that the earth was flat. Then you learned that the earth was round and your opinion changed. Right? As a child, I'm sure you thought that there were sharks in Lake Michigan. Then you realized Lake Michigan is freshwater. Because you learned more, and that probably changed your opinion. Is there a Kraken in there somewhere? I don't know. We haven't. I mean, people talk about, we haven't explored 95% of the ocean. Then how do you know what's down there? How do you know what's at the bottom of Lake Michigan? I don't know. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it on video. I don't want to go see it myself. TV video would be perfectly fine by me. Right? But there's a lot of things that when you are younger, you'll grow up and you'll realize, like, oh, that's why that is. Interesting. Like, here's something, for example. You know what I heard the other day? It's fascinating here. I heard the other day that dandelion, those things that grow in your yard, the dandelion in the root of it, I guess, is incredibly good for your heart. It's like people pull their dandelions out.
Dandelion tea. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I also didn't know that the largest manufacturer of heart medicine also owns Roundup. Did you know that? What does Roundup kill? That's pretty crazy.
That's an interesting theory.
What a correlation. You don't say. Well, that's the thing. Like, you can't make money off of healthy people, so why would you want people to be healthy? Like, everything's a paid-for service here. You go to other countries, they eat great food, they drink wine, they don't have any of the preservatives. They walk around. They don't need a gym on every corner. They don't need CrossFit at every corner. They're walking around. They don't go to therapy. They have families. They're pretty connected, right? It's a way of life. Our way of life, everything is offered as a service that you could pay for. But as new information becomes available, you're allowed to adjust your opinion. I was given some information and was told that everybody knew the rules very, very well when it comes to sports betting and the NFL specifically, not professional athletes, the National Football League specifically. Well, The Athletic went out and they published an article yesterday in which they dove into this idea of NFL players on the gambling policy And so what they went and did is they polled or questioned a handful of anonymous players. There were 5 of them, a 4th-year backup, a 2nd-year practice squad player, a 10-year vet, a 9-year backup, and a 7-year free agent. Like, what do you guys know about the gambling policy? Right? And they ask them a whole bunch of questions. And maybe it's not as clear as I was led to believe that it was when it's being communicated to the actual players themselves. Looks like we got a phone call here. I'll be right back on that topic. We'll get to Huge. Good morning, Mr. Huge. How are you, my friend?
I was going to call about the gambling because I'm tired of these NFL players or pro athletes trying to say they weren't informed. Look, here's the bottom line. There have been signs, and you've been down in locker rooms, Michigan, especially pro teams, Lions, Tigers, across the board. All right? You know, they know the rules. And, Anthony, I'm going to tell you right now that what pro teams should do immediately is ban any athlete or any relative of athletes. Do something where you sign a no gambling commitment because the integrity of the game, that's why they never had, allow gambling before, like to go to Vegas or anything. So these guys know the rules, and I love, they're like kids. Oh, no one told us. No, you know the rules on gambling. You know, don't allow any players, you know, maybe the families might be a little bit too strict initially, but I'll go with any athlete can't gamble inside casinos. It's not just going after apps. You can't gamble. I mean, my God, when is anybody accountable anymore in this country? There's always, you know, and don't tell me about the Athletic. That they're on their last breath anyways. I mean, my God, you know, all the players weren't told. Really? Are you kidding me? You know, you can't wait till you get off Allen Park property to gamble if you're JMO. You know, no, just ban them. Just say you can't go on the apps. And I know the hypocrisy is that they're going to say that the app partners with the team. Well, guess what? It's like telling somebody they can't drink at work. Doesn't mean you can't have a beer after work, and you can't drink when you're in the NFL or smoke weed, but if you're probably high or have a few in you, that's probably 30% of the people inside Ford Field. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, and I'm totally fine if they want to ban gambling altogether. They say, you know what, like this is too sticky. We tried to do it, it didn't work. We're going to adjust this rule on the fly and just say, hey, delete your accounts because sports gambling on any sport as a professional athlete, if you want to participate in our league, we are going to deem that as an infraction. Here are the suspensions. Post it everywhere and just be done with it. That's all. That's all you can do. It's way too sticky. They're giving them way too much gray area. They're almost inviting them to slip up. And if the players want to complain, well, the league, the owners get the money. I mean, hey, do you guys want to get paid or not? You want to get paid?
Hey, it's simple, Anthony.
Simple.
And a lot of people, especially these, you know, writers more than broadcasters like us, will say, well, it's a hypocrisy that they take the money. Again, Anheuser-Busch will sponsor the Lions. It doesn't mean the Lions can crack open beers on the sidelines because the fans are drinking. You're getting paid. You're on the job, okay? When you're at Allen Park, when you're at Ford Field, when you're on the team plane, when you're on the team hotel, you're on the clock. You're on the job. I can't drink at my job. You can't drink at your job. You can't smoke dope at your job, even though it's legal in the state of Michigan. I mean, again, we might debate some of the people behind the scenes, but I'm not going to throw out names right now. I'm telling you that there are rules. And this culture we have right now in America where most who are 13, and again, I'm a father of, 3 high schoolers, most 13 to about 25 think they live by no rules and they're always a victim.
I mean, and we are conditioning young people like that, I mean, like choices have consequences, right? I mean, it is what it is. But when you have a guy who's been in the league for 10 years that says, quote, I don't even know what the rule is or when the rule changed or the fine print or what you can and can't gamble on. They detailed the rule to the point I hadn't been in team meetings and they carved out time for it. It's like, hey, it's page whatever in your training camp compliance meeting. They spend like 4 minutes on it. Yeah, don't gamble on the NFL. You guys knew this, but nobody spends any time on it. I mean,
first off, they've had those signs, Anthony. You know, when the players say they don't know what to gamble and they can't gamble on, it's pretty obvious. You don't gamble on the NFL. Those signs have been right there outside the locker rooms for decades, all right? I'd go back to when I started 32 years ago in sports. Those signs are there. College players are preached about gambling, you know, back when it was bookies, okay? It may still be bookies in some areas for people who don't have money to front it. Is that, you know, what you have right now is when you look at sports across the board and you look at college baseball programs getting busted for gambling, college baseball, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, nothing against any app. And I endorse apps, you endorse apps, but you don't need college baseball on because it's usually not a lot of games are on TV. You start to, you can be secretive to a point. I don't know if you need college baseball on an app. Now, some will argue, well, what about college hoops? What about college football? For the most part, outside of Arizona State, there haven't been a lot of gambling scandals because I think
Toledo.
The players – oh, it's Toledo, yeah.
Yeah, that was years ago. But
right, but the players have been taught. And these NFL guys all of a sudden claiming we don't know really is a flag to me that this sports betting with the app is rampant throughout the NFL. And here's where you get to family members now that I may even say could not take part in apps, is that you get somebody who's an NFL player who funds an account with his brother or a brother-in-law who runs it. I mean, think about the seedy side. But then you ask yourself, you're in the NFL. Even if you're a minimum player, which is, $500,000, $400,000, whatever it is, why do you need to go win $5,000 on a football game? No, your family member would like it. Pay the rent, pay the car payment. I mean, that's where you're at here. And the NFL is going to need a gambling division, almost to hire former cops, FBI. Well, I wouldn't go FBI now. I'd stay away from FBI, DOJ. But hire former, detectives and monitor this and tell these guys. And I think they're trying to lay out the heavy hammer like they did for J-Mo. But maybe it's first time as a year, and you get these guys afraid. J-Mo lost what, $7 million? I think $6-7 million. Over what? Look what Calvin Ridley. I mean, he's back with the Jags now, but why? I mean, my God, he had like $11 million deal or something with the Falcons. But I'm tired of people blaming the innocent people. Where gambling's legal, marijuana's legal, drinking's legal, certain age, there are rules you follow. We all have to do it. And for athletes to say, well, God, I'm just a regular Joe. No, you're on the clock. You are getting paid big money, even if you're the last roster spot. Follow the damn rules and stop blaming the system. Be accountable. This is a message to anybody, 13 to 25. Be accountable.
You could take it all the way to 35 because, and maybe even older, huge. I'm right there.
No, I look at Ryan, Dan, and yourself. You three are accountable. You're true Americans. You're proud Americans. Ryan and Dan may be a little bit over the edge on Michigan State, but that's their business.
Huge, man. I appreciate the phone call. Thank you, my friend.
Man, I love you guys.
All right, take care. Have a good morning. I don't know where he's going, but we had good phone reception the entire time. I wish when he'd call me after the show, we had that kind of good phone reception. But if you have these NFL players, and I get what Hughes is saying, I'm with you. That's the conclusion that I've come to with it. Is just get it out.
Say, is it the app's problem, or is it now that we can find out easier that players are betting on sports because of the apps?
I think the apps are
because we've had gambling issues for over 100 years in sports. You go back to the 1919 Chicago Black Sox.
Oh, yeah. I mean, go back to the tracks that the Peaky Blinders were running. Gambling's it's
right. It's not a new issue in sports where it's. I think just the apps make it a lot easier to trace of who's actually doing it.
Yeah, and I think that with the gray area here, because it is a strange rule, but if you can't do it in a team facility, which includes a team hotel, a team plane, a team bus, anything operated by the team, and if the guys were in the parking lot at Allen Park and would have driven out onto the road and hit the stop sign, as they were getting to make, they're getting ready to get out of there, and they get to the stop sign, they make their left. It's like getting on Rotunda. It's like, okay, so if they want to place it there, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just this was a bag of worms when they started it, and from day one, allowing the players to bet on anything, I think, is a mistake. Because I think what it is, and one of the players in this Athletic article actually agreed to, talked about this. He said I know my personality. I don't bet on sports because I know my personality. I have an addictive personality. This is a gateway to me. And really, that's somebody being very honest with themselves, but I think it's also, I get that the league is making money off of the gambling companies. Like we all are. Right? I have no problem. Have I placed a sports wager before in my life? Yes.
Which there is a new NCAA rule that colleges can't partner with gambling companies anymore. Because Michigan State had a big deal with Caesars Windsor, and that deal had to prematurely end 4 years early due to this new rule.
And that's probably in the best interest of everybody. But you know what they do have partners with? They usually have some kind of alcohol partner. That's allowed in college athletics. And it's like, are we the morality police? Well, as a professional, once the kids start collecting checks, now you're professional. You're no longer an amateur. So, yeah, let's get the beer flowing in the stadiums. Let's get the sports book opened up right in the stadium and just throw it all out the window. Everything you once knew it was, because that's what everybody wants is professional sports at the college level. So, okay, great. They get all the ad money you can get. And if you are the NFL owners and the players came to you and said, well, that's not fair. All right. Okay. It's not fair that you have a sports book that's operating in a stadium, or you built a stadium and put a franchise in the sports betting capital of the planet. Like, okay. You think that's not fair. Do you think it's fair when the president, CEO, or owner of a company gets more vacation time than the person that just started? Would you consider that fair?
Yes.
And why is that?
Seniority.
There you go. Somebody owns the business. They are employing you. They sign your checks. You don't make the rules. You follow the rules. I know that everybody wants to live in this world where you can do whatever you want and get whatever you want whenever you want, but that's not the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is I am the owner of said club. Our club is going to have a sports book that operates within the grounds of the stadium, that people can watch the game and bet live if they want to. And that's that. Do you want your check or not?
I mean, if you're the NFL, you just do what every other company does. Like, hey, you have to watch 3 hours worth of PowerPoints on the gambling policy every single year, and you'll be suspended if it's not done by this day.
We have our gambling capsule. We'll step aside. Hour 2 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Perfectly primed steaks, handcrafted cocktails, warm hospitality. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, coming soon to Soaring Eagle Casino Resort. This isn't just any dining experience. It's an unparalleled steakhouse experience where USDA prime beef is cooked to perfection and your last bite is as good as your first. All with a sign of Ruth's legendary hospitality. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, coming soon to Soaring Eagle Casino Resort. Your getaway reimagined.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bullying, lack of patience, cruelty to animals. Those are not good traits. They also happen to be critical warning signs of violence. June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to know that at-risk people often display warning signs before they resort to gun violence. Search online for 10 critical warning signs of violence and ask your local police department how you can safely make a difference.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations. I think there's close to 30 across the Huge Radio Network. For the one close to you, go to MrCarWash.com, and there you can join their Unlimited Wash Club. Now, this is a quick and convenient way to keep your car shining all the time. It's everything you love about getting your car washed in a simple, easy-to-use, affordable plan. As an Unlimited Wash Club member, you will enjoy all the benefits of washing as often as you like, no long-term contract, convenient monthly billing, and now you can be rest assured with a contactless visit. So go to MrCarWash.com right now, sign up for their Unlimited Wash Club Pass, and that means you can get your car washed at any Mr. Car Wash location across the Huge Radio Network or anywhere in America. And for the location close to you across the Huge Radio Network, you can also log on to MrCarWash.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the 6th day of June, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Galen, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. You can add us all on Twitter if you'd like. Throw us a follow, comment on anything you made here. The show is at XB Mornings, but us individually, Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. You can email us fan feedback, email inbox, xbmornings@gmail.com. So just to kind of like wrap up where we were at the end of the hour, from the sounds of it, it looks like we have some new information on what the players may or may not know. What needs to be done is it needs to be made explicit across the board to everybody of what the actual rules are. And the rule that I would put into place, that I would institute as the newest commissioner of all sports, is the fact that we are not going to, if you are involved in sports, college or professional, you forfeit your ability to gamble on sports until you are retired. I don't think that a year-long suspension is crazy. I think it sends a good, clear-cut message. And if you're guys like, some of the individuals that have been cut already from the Lions. There's another investigation ongoing right now with the Lions as well. I don't know why it's just the Lions. The Commanders have a guy that's out. The Colts just had a guy that got suspended, but that seems a little interesting to me. But whatever the case may be, these new these rules and parameters should be communicated to all players and should be made very, very clear. Here's what we're going to do. Take the app and delete it off of your phone. Right? And I don't think that a player, I would be interested to know what players are actually up. That's what I'd be interested in. What players actually are winning. Like one guy said he was betting, he lost $500 and he quit playing because he was betting on all parlays in the NBA and he was like, I'm done. That's it. And yeah, like if it's a couple $100 and you're an NFL player and you have that paycheck, that's one thing. If it's a couple $100 and you're an average Joe, what Huge said, one thing that Huge did say at the end of the call, he said, if you're going to place a bet and pay, no. If you're not going to go to the casino, there's a very select few individuals that can go to a casino to make money, where that is their office, that is their place of work. You do not have the knowledge, you have not put in the time, you do not know the game, and if you did, you probably wouldn't be working where you are working, you'd be working for one of them. There's a reason the lights are on. Do not ever walk into a casino or log onto an app with this idea that you're going to pay some bills. That is a horrible financial move. Terrible. Like, if you had an extra $6,000, why not put that in your IRA? Why not? Instead of, who's going to write a check for $6,000 up front? Okay. Can I get $500 a month? So we can max this thing out. Contribution levels going up too, by the way. $6,500 upcoming. Was $6,000. Now it's going up to $65,000. Let's max out our IRA. Let's put the sports book down and take that money and then put it into something that's going to help you in the future. There you go. That's not an look, like I said, I placed a wager on sports before. I've done it before. It could be fun. It could be exciting. It could be riveting. A sports book is a great place to watch a game. All casinos offer sports books. That's fun just to go in there. See all the different lines and the tickers that are going around. And you got all the jumbo screens and everybody's invested. Like, it's great, especially if there's a big-time game. Oh, man. There's not a better place to watch it. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to discourage you. I mean, one of our ad partners is DraftKings, for God's sakes. I'm not going to discourage you from using the app, but you need to use it responsibly. And if you think, I'm going to log on and pay for something, that's just a god-awful decision. Hopefully you hear my voice and you decide, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to put that down because the guys in the morning said so. We'll pick it up at a later date. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Jacob deGrom's return to the AL West leading Texas Rangers has been pushed back until at least late June after the two-time NL Cy Young Award winner was transferred to the 60-day on yesterday. DeGrom hasn't pitched since April 28th when he exited early because of an injury concern for the second time in the span of 3 starts. He was placed on the 15-day following day after an MRI showed inflammation in his right elbow. Jacob deGrom, 34 years old, signed to a $185 million 5-year contract. Oh, put it in the shredder. All done. The Panthers vow to be better for their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, saying that he is our best player. They got whacked last night. We'll talk about that game coming up next. 7-2 your final score, but man alive. I mean, I said set the tone physically. I didn't mean for that game to break out last night. Holy mackerel. You sure you want to play NHL hockey? You sure you want to do that? You sure about that? Where's that guy at? Are you sure about that? Dude trending on the internet. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to go put on those skates and make it off the ice alive. I really, after watching last night's game, goodness, I almost put a mouthpiece in and sit on my couch. Sources say the Celtics are going to be adding Sam Cassell to Joe Mazzulla's staff. Here's my question. That's a weird way to put it. Because the Celtics president, Brad Stevens, said that after the team lost to the Heat in 7 games, that Mazzulla would still be the head coach, but wanted to hire a veteran assistant to his staff. That's kind of odd. Don't like, as a head coach, don't you want to pick your staff? It's kind of weird. I'm just saying. The NBA is fine with Victor Wembanyama's debut happening in Sacramento. By the way, this isn't a regular season debut. This is a summer league debut for the summer league. It's the summer league. Who cares? It'll be on television. We'll be able to watch it. What's the difference? Sources say that Brandon Ingram and Michigan State alum Jaren Jackson Jr. have committed to play for Team USA for the World Cup. It's coached. That team is coached by Steve Kerr. The executive director is Grant Hill. The 12-man roster is working on being finalized right now. The event begins August 25th in Manila. So the FIBA Basketball World Cup Championships taking place this summer in the Philippines. Man, August seems like a really bad time to have that. I understand it gives everybody a little break from their seasons because we are not the only professional sports season that's completing their championship right now in basketball. So to give some guys some time off, but man, it's a lot of hoop in a short amount of time. The Phoenix Suns are hiring David Fizdale as an assistant coach. He will join Frank Vogel's staff. So it's pretty interesting. Associate head coach Kevin Young. Frank Vogel has a ring, got fired. Blame guy, you got to have a fall guy. When you're around LeBron James, you have to have a fall guy. Somebody's got to take the blame for the fact that they didn't win every game every single year. And when he's not happy, management will typically fold to cater to lick convenience. Cowboys release Antonio Callaway following his arrest. He was arrested last weekend in Miami for driving with a suspended license. That should be a lot. That should be a long time. The Bills have broken ground on a new $1.54 billion stadium, so the Bills got it all worked out with Erie County and the New York State, and this ground will be ready to go in 2026 with a new stadium. And finally, the Detroit Tigers, losers last night, 8-3 to the Philadelphia Phillies on the road in Philly. We'll step aside. We'll be back. Stanley Cup Game 2, Lions Trivia. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Have you ever played golf at Tullymore, St. Ives? Have you experienced a stay-and-play package in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of Grand Rapids? Well, here's what you need to do if you want to take advantage of great deals right now. Go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com, and you'll see the link for packages, accommodations, dining, meetings, weddings, events, and so much more, and especially golf on the 18-hole layout at Tullymore and the 18 holes at St. Ives. And they can accommodate any group, whether it's 2 people getting together or 200 looking for a weekend or an overnight celebration. That includes a little business, golf, great food, and beverages. Just go to tullymoregolf.com. That's tullymoregolf.com. They're located in Canadian Lakes, Michigan, less than an hour north of GR. Get more info at tullymoregolf.com.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. A new day full of action and excitement. Come to Soaring Eagle. Indulge to your heart's content. It's a day for winning, for world-class fun and food. Yes, it's a grand, spectacular day to get away. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. It's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to speak up. In 4 out of 5 school shootings, someone knew about the attacker's intent but didn't report it. If you suspect someone you know may be about to hurt themselves or others, speak up. You can report it safely and anonymously through OK to Say, or contact your local police department and share what you know. Whatever you do, don't keep it to yourself.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Boy, great weather out there right now, and golf season is here. Matt Golden and his great team over at Tullymore Golf Resort are ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan. Tullymore Golf Resort and Canadian Lakes offering not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's up north golf without the drive, and it has the lodging to be able to cater to you, your partner, your foursome, or up to 400 of your closest family, friends, and coworkers. Tullymore not only features top-of-line golf, but also top-line accommodations and the perfect space for your wedding event reception and group outing. TullymoreGolf.com is the website. That's TullymoreGolf.com, or call Matt direct at 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. It's hour 2 at segment 2, which means it's time for some Detroit Lions trivia. Forgot this yesterday. We got all caught up and missed it. So here we go. In 2020, the NFL's highest paid punter ever, Jack Fox, became the first Detroit Lions punter to make the Pro Bowl since what player in 1988?
No idea. 1988
I'll take that as
Lions
a good guess.
Punter?
John Jett.
There you go.
Jett. That's a good one. The correct answer is Jim Arnold. Bing bong. Congratulations, Jim Arnold. Wherever Jim's family's at listening to us right now on the iHeartRadio app, free to download, free to listen to. I'm sure they're very thrilled to hear their father's name on the radio this morning. Very exciting. There you go. All right, yesterday I had said, that's kind of a quick one, not a whole lot of love for punters. You know, we paid a punter a whole bunch, and we go for it on 4th and 8 from our own 26. You know, it just is what it is. But we got him if we need him. I'd rather have him.
The Lions just put a punter on retainer. That's all they did.
Yeah, I'd rather have him and not need him than need him and not have him. Words to live by. All right, so you have this. You had the Stanley Cup Finals last night, game number 2. And yesterday I was talking about coming out, setting the tone physically early. Wow, I did not expect that. If you watched any of this game, holy mackerel, I don't know how you would walk away from this thinking to yourself that you could participate in this sport. I mean, my God, did you see some of those hits early? They had a couple of montages that they had put together that had different hits over 4, 5, 6 plays. I mean, they were out there just smacking the hell out of each other. And it was a joy to see. The problem is what had happened was the Golden Knights, with an aggressive style of play, a really good night of quality goaltending, and an ability to not only get a lead, but not be comfortable with it and add to it. I mean, that third goal, Bob had no chance at it. Sergei Bobrovsky. Like, he had no, I mean, it was behind him. He didn't even know where it was at. He was still in his regular stance. And watching this game, I mean, my goodness, that is I don't know how you walk away from Vegas thinking that Florida has a chance in this thing. I don't know how you walk away from Las Vegas thinking that Florida's not going to get swept.
And the crazy, Vegas is just deep. They're so, every line is like hammering you. And the thing is, Florida was the beefier, bigger, more physical team.
I'll clip that later.
Yeah,
you can clip that later.
A lot of beef.
Just,
a lot of beef.
Just deep.
So deep.
Will you guys stop?
Then they're
Jeez,
hammering you.
Family-friendly show. So you have this idea that, Florida was going to be able to out-physical the Vegas Golden Knights with the ugliest jerseys, maybe in professional sports. I mean, those mustard yellows are just atrocious. They are so bad.
You get that jersey or the Mile High knockoff Denver Nuggets jersey.
The Mile High knockoff Denver Nuggets jersey.
No,
that
those
mustard
are, those
thing,
are boring ass. Don't. It's what you get on Create a Jersey because they don't have anything. We give you one font. You get it in a circle. That's it.
I'd at least rather have that than walk around like a bottle of Heinz mustard. Like those aren't. I don't even know what those are. They're terrible. They are terrible. And Vegas is the better team. Clearly. And there was one play that really stuck out to me in yesterday's game that it's a long game. It's a 60-minute contest. Everybody who's out there is playing somewhere usually between 12 and 20 minutes, right? So I don't want to say that this is like the end all be all. But Mark Stone is the captain of this club. Didn't do anything crazy this year. Had 38 points for the Vegas Golden Knights this year. And there is a sequence in which they're on the defensive end. Stone's stick breaks. He goes out to try to apply pressure to the guy who's got the puck. Two hands, lays a hit, sees that his team has taken possession, skates up to his bench, grabs a stick on the fly, shout out to the equipment manager, gets back into the play by straddling the blue line, coming back across the ice, gets the puck on a stick, it leads to an assist. And it was one of those plays where it's like they're not losing this game. Like all of those little extra effort, and that's the thing, like his extra effort when the stick breaks to be able to go apply pressure to the puck handler, right? That creates a poor pass, poor exchange, and then Vegas in turn grabs possession, leads the charge down the ice. He's already out in front. Equipment manager gets in the stick in time. He's not offside, grabs the puck, delivers the puck, goal. Like, it's just one of those things where everything seems to be, turning up Las Vegas. And they're a team that was 25-15-1 at home in the regular season. And if you're Florida walking away from there, the fairy tale, like, it's pumpkin time. Like, that's what it is. Like, I don't think that there is anything that Florida can really do here that's going to be better than what Vegas is bringing to the ice every night. And it's crazy because, did the clock strike midnight? Is that what happened? I mean, Kachuk's got to find a way to stay out of the box because he's their most valuable weapon. And you can't have somebody sitting in the sin bin that long. And that's what it is. I mean, Florida, I think, is getting a little agitated, getting a little aggravated with, how things have been running thus far, and maybe taking a little something extra. But there was also a play with Vegas's goaltender on Kachuk that I just don't understand. Like, Kachuk gets checked from behind into the net, and the goaltender's just taking liberties at him, and the ref standing right there, not doing anything. And it's like, or the official, I should say. I think it was a linesman. And at what point are you like, no, that's enough? Just give him a 2-minute minor for being a jerk. Like, why are we allowing goaltenders? Like, I'm telling you what, if I was Kachuk or if I was on the Florida team, I'm being honest with you. This is why this sport gets a little dangerous. I'm coming across the ice at full speed. I'm putting that elbow pad right in the side of that goaltender's ear, and I'm knocking him out. I was so aggravated watching that. I'm like, dude, why do you think you can get away with anything? Like, I'm throwing elbow straight to the jaw, and I'm hitting him as hard as possible. I'm yard sailing the goaltender. Blindside. There you go. And I'll take my penalty, whatever it might be. And then when the NFL wants to interview me about why would you do such a thing, oh, my God. How about you look at this play right here and you explain why this is legal? Because the goaltenders think that they can do whatever they want, and then the minute you brush up to them, they get shot with a punt gun. If you don't know what a punt gun is, they used to tie it to a tree, and it shot like 100 pellets at one time. It's a giant thing. Like, what are we doing here? Because you got all those pads on, now all of a sudden you get touched, and it's, flop city. Dude, run one right across that guy's jawline next game. Early on, too. First period, knock him out cold. Be like, well, you got what you deserved, you jerk. Kyle Barlow joins us next here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Dana Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now. He did his GA years under John Beeline at the University of Michigan. He now finds himself meandering the sidelines at Ohio University. He is also a Concordia alum and a regular on this program. One of my favorite segments of the week, our good buddy, the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at KyleBarlow4. Send your kids' recruiting tapes there. Coach Barlow, good morning to you, my friend. How are you? How's life? How are things, partner?
Fantastic. You know what's funny? Not only the meandering and your favorite part of the week, which I really appreciate. Meandering is a great word. I've got at least 2 to 3 highlight tapes from listeners or kids of listeners. So you say that as it's almost like a passing line, but I have actually received that, but I know I've communicated with you about that, which is great, man. That's what we're here for.
Oh, I thought you were here because you like sports radio, and you and I had a thing. I didn't know I didn't know you were using me to get recruiting tapes. Unbelievable! These kids out of the Great Lakes State, they're sending their kids south of the border to OU. That's unbelievable. All right, Coach Barlow, it is. Look, I know that you've been catching some flack from all angles. They've been texting me. They've been badgering you at home over this right now. That you said the Nuggets could sweep, maybe even in 5, and people are already demanding an apology. You don't have to apologize yet. The series is tied to 1-1. Gentlemen, sweep. Do they not remember the Pistons-Lakers?
Nuggets in 5 is still out there. And again, it's very, in this series, it's funny you bring up the Pistons because I think it's very reminiscent of that, but it's kind of in a different way because I think the Lakers won game 2 in LA and it was like Kobe hit a ridiculous shot at the buzzer in overtime to send it to overtime. And so they kind of stole game 2, which is, I felt like the Heat kind of stole that one. I don't think the Nuggets played particularly well. I think you'll see a lot more 115 to 120 point outings for the Nuggets, but I still got Nuggets at 5, man. I'm not apologizing. But the one part that this series does remind me of the Pistons in 04 is nobody gave the Pistons a chance. Like, remember Drew Sharp? I think he was a news or free press guy.
Yeah.
Drew Sharp, he would say, I got the Lakers in 4. And then the Pistons would win. He'd say, I got the Lakers in 5. Then the Pistons would win. He's like, I got the Lakers in 6, 7. I have the Lakers in 11. It doesn't matter how many games the Pistons win. That's how it kind of feels like with Miami because nobody's giving them a chance.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in forever.
Yeah. I don't know how negative he was though about Detroit. It was great.
Yeah,
but I think he got a lot of emails before. That was like before the Stephen A. Smith era of just saying stuff for headlines.
It really was. It really was. That was like the era. But that's that's people that play on the emotion. It's easy to be negative all the time and badger the hell out of people because it generates calls. You know what I mean? It generates clicks and all that stuff. So somebody's got to be
rest in peace, by the way.
Yes, and somebody's got to be the devil's advocate. But that really was. And columnists were. I mean, that's where the debate television grew from. And I have kind of an oddball one here for you, and it's a little bit off the beaten path about this series. But what I find most intriguing about the Nuggets in the Heat is the fact that people didn't want the Nuggets and the Heat. And you look at it from, like, if it was, round 2 or whatever, and they're like, oh, man, here come the conference finals. Oh, my goodness, you could have Lakers Celtics. Look at all these potential matchups you could have. And what about the Suns, right? There were all these different teams out there. And the Nuggets, the number 1 seed in the West, it doesn't matter if you're the number 1 seed. It doesn't matter if you're this or that. And the Nuggets just keep proving that they were the best team in the Western Conference. The Miami Heat, complete opposite, right? Had to go in through the play-in, had to go the extra mile to even be here, right? And I like this because there isn't a LeBron. I like this because there isn't a Boston. There isn't this, like, super historic. I'm kind of over that. I'm over the diva stars that want to be traded every time, the sun isn't shining directly on their forehead. You know what I mean? I look at guys like Duncan Robinson and his response. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see really good teams.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's why I want to see Denver win. That's why I'm rooting for Denver. I do think they're the best team. I'm not just saying they're going to win because I'm rooting for them, because by heart, I think they're the better team. With my brain, but it's like, I want to see Denver win because they've never won an NBA Finals before. Like, I think that stuff is awesome. Like, how many times do you need to see LA win or Boston win? And it's like, well, this is LA's 11th title, 6 of them in Minneapolis, right? Like, who the heck cares? But for the Miami Heat, nah, I'd rather not. Like that. Like, you're talking about like, think about this. Like in February, that team, they're the 8th seed, but they're still a playoff contender, as we know, a title defender. And they don't have fans in the stands in January, February, March, because it's like they're all at the beach. Like, and it's just like hockey right now. We talked about it, like you got Florida versus Vegas. Like those fans don't deserve that. Like meanwhile in Detroit it's cold, in Cleveland it's cold, in Milwaukee it's cold. So what else do we have to do besides go to Little Caesars Arena and go check out the Pistons and Red Wings? And we can't get a team who can contend right now. Like those fans don't deserve that. That's why I'm rooting for Denver. Hockey I could care less about. Two warm franchises. Who cares? In Miami South Beach, they can get free agents in the NBA in Detroit, and teams in the Midwest can't. So you know what? I don't really care about the Miami Heat winning.
Wow. I mean, that's I like the Heat, right? I don't like that 4-year era that they had in which they only won 2 championships when they counted on their hands in front of everybody how many they were going to win due to a certain somebody, and lost to a 7-seed Dallas Mavericks team and Dirk Nowitzki. But that's neither here nor there. We'll act like that didn't happen, right? But for me personally, watching the series, if Miami wins, that's fine by me. Duncan Robinson gets a ring. Kevin Love, everything that he's been through, getting that call to go to Cleveland to follow LeBron around and taking all that heat, mental health, spiraling out of control.
Pun intended.
Trying to rally. Then asking for a trade. He gets out. He goes to Miami. The consummate professional. Duncan Robinson gets that big contract. He gets benched. He's coming in. He's slashing to the bucket now. And, of course, you got Jimmy Buckets. Like, just a really good team. Jimmy Butler is an all-star, all-NBA caliber player, but he's just different than some of these soft, these prima donna. Like, that's just not him. Like, he's the grit and the grind. Very, very Bad Boys-esque.
Well, and it shows you what kind of organization that is, and what kind of coaching and GM with Pat Riley and Spo. Everybody agrees he's one of the best coaches in the league. Like, if you transplant that team in Detroit, they fit the Bad Boys, the reborn Bad Boys in 04. Like, they fit that culture, like, with all the undrafted free agents. They started 3 undrafted free agents, right? They kind of have that chip on his shoulder. Jimmy Butler is not ever considered a top 5, top 10 player in the league. So he's like the second-class superstar, and he plays like it. He's got the chip on his shoulder. My point is I love what the Heat do with the team that they have and how they play and how they coach. My point is, the fans of Miami do not deserve that, man. They're on South Beach. They don't go to the games until it's the conference finals or the NBA finals. Get the heck out of here. We deserve Spoelstra. We deserve Pat Riley. We're the blue collar team. Like, if there's any blue collar team in the NBA, it's the Miami Heat right now. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, we all have a chip on our shoulder. Nobody told us we're good enough. So you know what? Like, nobody gave us a chance in this series either. And what do? We won Game 2 on the road in Denver. Like, that's a Detroit style team if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it really is. And I think there's a lot of that in Denver too, right? They have Jokic, the big Serb, right? People, Mark Jackson's got to call the games and eat crow every quarter, and I love it. And he's like, oh, he's so sensational. I'm like, shut up. You didn't even put him in your top 5. Get out of here. You're so like not going that direction. I'm bringing it back. I'm reeling it in. I'm reverse pivoting. It's not a problem. Mike Breen just started like, bang, Jeff Van Gundy's like, 1994. And I'm like, what is going on out here? But then you have guys like Aaron Gordon who had to, kind of reinvent himself. And I mentioned Bruce Brown being recruited by Mike Malone, and Mike Malone asking him, like, how come you haven't been signed? And he's like, well, it's because nobody knows how to play me. And you look at Jamal Murray, a rising star in the league, and it's like, people are like, oh, well, nobody knows anything about Denver. Well, why don't you talk about the best team in the Western Conference instead of constantly covering, what did Draymond Green say to Jordan Poole? Did LeBron drop a deuce today? What's Jason Tatum doing? You cover the same stuff. Where's Russell Westbrook? How long is James Harden's beard? Like, I'm just tired of it. Like, cover the entire league.
Yeah. And that's kind of why I root for Denver, is all those reasons you just mentioned. It's like they have a lot of nobody believed in us either, and a lot of chip on your shoulder guys too with that team. Like, Aaron Gordon was a top 3 draft pick in the NBA, I think, with the Heat, or not the Heat, the Magic. I think he went at first, and then it's like he literally had to reinvent himself and like, look, I'm not the person that everybody kissed my butt all the way up from high school to the NBA now, to college and the NBA. Like, I have to be a role player. And if you're drafted top 3 in this league, nobody thinks you're a role player at that point. But he took that medicine and came out in game 1 and just absolutely killed the matchup. I think they had Vincent on him, and it just absolutely killed that matchup, so much so that they had to start Kevin Love. So I really like the teams, man. I think I really love the brand of basketball, and I don't think it's I don't think it's a prima donna superstar series. And I think that's something that both of us enjoy.
Yeah, very much, because we're we guys, right? It's we before me, always, right?
Yep.
You know, what are we
Jokic
going to do?
came out the best player on the planet, came out in game 1, said, guys, I don't even have to shoot. Like, I just want us to win. So here's what they're going to take me away. I will just be a distributor here. I think he had 1 shot attempt in the first quarter and 7 assists. Like, it's unreal, man. And it's like, he just wants to win.
So when you look at Miami and you look at Denver in game number 2, when you're watching that game, was it the fact that, hey, Miami came out and if you're shooting, 48.6% from 3 and you're 17 to 35, you're probably going to win some games. They didn't hit a lot of those shots in game number 1. Do you think there's more to it? There's been this debate going on. Eric Spoelstra poo-pooed the idea of trying to from Ramona Shelburne, and boy, did he throw a heater. Did you hear that?
I did.
The untrained eye just, whoa.
It was more the nonverbal reaction of the wiping of the face before the untrained eye comment. I thought it was great.
Man, and it's like, okay, so you're going to let Jokic get his, but can you really stop him anyways? I get. But what was the difference then for Miami? Was it the physicality? Was it a better matchup, trying to guard Jamal Murray? Like, what do you think it was?
I think Spo touched on it a little bit, and it was, like he was a distributor in game 1. He was a distributor in game 2, but some of those shots weren't falling for Denver. And I think there's some coaches speaking there, but I think a lot of it's true. And I think when it comes to the game 2, I think, well, first of all, I think Miami has done an incredible job at getting back on defense. If you watch, like, even with the Lakers series, like, every time AD would miss a shot around the rim and he'd either complain at the ref or look at the ref or not sprint back, Jokic would either push the break and create an odd man break, or he would literally put his head down and sprint. Like, the man, he doesn't look like it, but he is in incredible physical shape. Like, if you watch it, as soon as Denver gets a stop, that dude is out. And that's how they beat the Lakers, because they're putting up 125 a night on that team, mostly because they're creating possessions. And if you watch closely the Heat, like, if you watch Bam, he does not get outrun by Jokic, maybe once or twice a game, but does not let it happen. So I think the Heat are in a concerted effort to limit the transition, and it's worked, on makes and misses. And then they're trying to make it a half-court game. If you watch the Heat get rebounds, they are not really pushing the tempo. They're making a half-court game. They're slowing it down as much as you can with a 24-second shot clock. So they're really making that team work. And I think even Spo said this, and like, Jokic is not, like, he's one of the better half-court players in the league as well. Not only the best player in the league overall, but one of the best half-court players in the league. So it's like we have to do different things. And I really think the zone, and as much as I talked bleep on the radio last week how the zone wouldn't affect Jokic, I really do think the zone has slowed them down. And I don't think it's totally affected them, like shut them down like it did Boston, but it has definitely slowed them down.
Yeah, it's been very interesting to see. A lot of people think that the zone is dead, and it's not. But when you have a guy like Nikola Jokic with so many high post catches, how does the zone then disrupt that? Because if Murray and company are hitting some shots from outside, and he was 7 of 15 in that game. It's not like the guy was just tossing up bricks everywhere. But how does the zone then affect that passing out of the high post?
It's more of the effect of they kind of collapse into the zone. And I say that like they kind of match up out of it. So if you watch, like, they'll pass off the top guy. Usually the weakness of the zone is the middle, which we said last week. But they'll pass off the middle. They'll put Jokic in the middle, and they'll keep passing him off and cover him from different angles. Like, it's almost never the same way on multiple possessions because they know he's too smart, that if you start covering it one way, he's going to figure it out. So I don't know if it's more so the Heat are just brilliant and they have this nonverbal communication that goes on with that zone. And who's taking the middle this time? Who's passing it off this time? I think it's legitimately they're like, look, if we're confused, they're confused. And it's so funny because in coaching, I've heard that before. Like, hey, we're going to confuse ourselves, and if we don't know what we're going to do, they're not going to know what we want to do. But we do know we're not going to let Jokic just operate in the middle with free reign. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing. I think it's really good. I think the game plan has been spectacular for Miami. Even in game one, their game plan was great. I just think Denver is a better team, and they had a better night.
And it's a make or miss league, right? Jimmy Butler said that it's a make or miss game. It's a make or miss league. Like you got to make shots, and that's what it is. So the series shifts back then to Miami now for game number 3. Is there can there be carryover from game number 2? I mean, you would expect you're at home, so you're going to be more comfortable shooting the basketball. But you won a game at Mile High, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, no doubt. And I don't think they're going to hit 17 threes again. I think that number is a bit of an outlier, but that's what it takes to win games. And I think the Heat are going to have to hit 17 threes plus to win games in the series, and I don't see them doing that more than 3 or 4 times to win the series.
It is very, very interesting. It's something that KD and company couldn't do in Phoenix. That the Lakers struggled with winning games in that altitude. I don't know how real it is. I really don't. Like, I've never played anything like that high above sea level.
I'm just so excited for the Miami fans because once it gets too hot to be, on the strip and on the beach, now it's 100 down there. They can go indoors in the nice air conditioning and watch the Heat battle the Denver Nuggets. So I'm glad they got to spend January, February, and March on the beach, and now they can go in when it gets too hot for them. I'm so happy for Miami fans.
Where do you put Pat Riley in the hierarchy of basketball now that he's participated in 25% of the finals?
He's done it like at every level, right? I mean, you're talking player, coach, GM. Like the only one who I could think of that is like Phil Jackson, right? Maybe Red Auerbach, but as GMs, like Phil Jackson was a terrible GM for the Knicks. Yeah, and so everybody else was too. Isaiah Thomas, I guess. So maybe it was the Knicks, but yeah, I mean, I think he's got to be up there because that identity is his identity. Like that culture is his culture, and everybody talks about Heat culture. Like Pat Riley started that. Remember, he fired Stan Van Gundy, came down from the GM booth, and won a title in 2006, and they beat the Pistons that year too in the playoffs. And then he did not do the same with Spoelstra after he lost with that super team the first year when he probably could have. So he just presses the right buttons, man. I think he's one of the rare guys who leadership is very, very difficult and complicated. He's one of the few guys who I think has proven on a year in, year out basis, no matter what capacity he's in, he has that leadership.
He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. He's a leader on this program. Coach Barlow is always my friend. Thank you so much for your time today, partner. We greatly appreciate you.
See ya.
Step into a world of nonstop DraftKings casino action. Play the classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots, plus enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers who deposit at least $5 can match their first deposit and score up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Download the DraftKings app right now, sign up using the promo code HUGE, and get a match on your first deposit of $5 up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Only at the DraftKings casino app, only using the promo code HUGE. Now, if you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, one per opted-in customer, minimum $5 deposit, max match $2,000, deposit and bonus amount require 15 times playthrough within 30 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions do apply. Hour 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
In the den. Hey, sports fans, here's a hanging curveball that you can knock out of the ballpark. This is Matt Shepard, the voice of Detroit baseball, inviting you to step up to the plate at Eagle Casino and Sports, the mobile sports book where you can bet on all your favorites all year round, including, of course, our national pastime. So download the app and start winning today. Eagle Casino and Sports, made in Michigan, made for Michigan. Must be 21 years or older and in Michigan to play.
It's important for the Tigers to tread water in June. Detroit has 13 players currently on the injured list, second most to Milwaukee in the majors, and 17 of their 27 games in the month are against teams over 500. Though they are among the worst in baseball in hitting with runners in scoring position, the team as a whole is 10th in the majors in walk percentage, while Tigers pitching ranks second best in walk percentage. If this team can get through June playing even, they will then get Tarek Skubal and Matt Manning back in July. Matt Vierling and Kerry Carpenter are due back hopefully within a week or two, and we're keeping our fingers crossed on Riley Green. This team would be thrilled to be within 5 games of first at the end of the month, but June is a challenge.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Or or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, two things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Defended in the corner. To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown to Detroit Lions. They did it. Br0's St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Br0's. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 3 on this Tuesday, the 6th day of June 2023. So great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Give us a call on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. At .com to that to find our website. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Did you guys by chance see the shot Jack Eichel took last night? They just replayed it on the television, depending on what channel you're watching. Eichel was head down. Man, he was coming across the middle at his own blue line, and he got absolute. I'm telling you, there were some hits last night in the game, and I know Vegas blew the doors off of Florida. I'm trying to calm myself down. I'm getting more and more aggravated the more and more I talk about this. The shenanigans that took place, the extracurricular BS that took place with the Vegas goaltender and Matthew Tkachuk. But did you see the hit Eichel took? There were a couple of them that on your couch throw your mouthpiece in, because those guys are just absolute wrecking machines out there. And I talked about taking the fight to Vegas, playing physical with them. I mean, Vegas is just they physicality wins. But if you can do it in a manner in which you don't get penalized.
Like, does it seem like the open ice hit has kind of become the retaliatory thing to do?
No, because the puck's on a sticks.
Well, yeah,
it's a clean hit.
I know. I'm not
disagreeing. Then why are you challenging it, Dan? Why are you trying to get rid of the open ice hit?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a little easier to hurt, try to get somebody out of the game by doing that rather than, getting them in a fight or something like that. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, look, Chris and I have been talking about this. He knows, he's an avid listener to the show, and he knows how worked up I am over the Tkachuk thing. I'm irate over it because you have an official standing right there that is not doing anything while the goalie's just taking liberties. And God forbid Tkachuk look at a goaltender wrong, because it's an automatic misconduct. You're out of here. Don't even look at the goalie. But goalies want to use the lumber in their hands however they want. He gives him that cheap shot with the stick in the ribs. Oh man, I'm telling you, game 3, who we got that's a healthy scratch that's going to come out here and make this play for us. We're playing a man down the rest of the game. Because it's the first possession that we get the puck in that zone, I'm going 100 miles an hour, full speed across the crease, that elbow high, and I'm clipping him right across his jaw. I don't care. And when the NHL wants to interview me, it talks about hits to the head and intent to injure. Yep, 100%. I'm going to pop the tape and be like, what are you going to do about that? If you're not going to police the game, we will. Because you can't get them out here to fight, because they don't do that. So what else you want us to do? And I'm going right across, boom, right in the jaw. You got an elbow pad on, you'll be fine. Stick that forearm right in the lower part of his goalie mask and knock his block off. And then fight your way to the penalty box. And it just is what it is. Keep your helmet on as long as possible. Throw those gloves, and let's get to going. Who's up? Like, that's where you wish you just had a Bob Probert just out there wheeling, dealing, one-punching people left and right. You're out, right hand, boom, you're down, left hook, boom, you're down. Who wants what? Grab a jersey, couple uppercuts, you're knocked out. Oh, man, I'm telling you, I'm getting worked up. Why am I worked up? I'm not even playing. Doesn't even matter to me who wins. My team is. If that would have happened to, like, Lucas Raymond, oh, dude, I would be. I don't know what you. We need somebody. Somebody's got to be. Somebody on this Red Wings team has got to be able to do something in the event that this happens. Why is Justin? Yeah, you're right, Justin Rose. I'm not going to do bleep. I'm sitting on my couch. I can't play. But best believe if I'm in that locker room, that's my move. Right after I see Seth Davis tweeting, please be kind. I got to get off the internet. That's the problem. I'm getting all worked up over stuff that doesn't affect my day-to-day life. I feel like an old person on Facebook right now. That's how I feel. Who's the GM for Vegas? It doesn't matter. They had an expansion draft. They get to pick and choose whoever they want. They even fired a popular head. Okay, they're still winning. That's great. That's got nothing to do with us. Little bit harder. A little bit harder on Ian. Let's talk about Vegas in 15 years. Yep. And maybe your counter argument is Florida, who was really good right away and then took some time off. And look, they're back, but they're getting absolutely whacked. I don't know. Like, I want the Florida Panthers to win, but I'm ready to put my stamp on it and mail that sucker in because they are toast. They're done. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Heat don't have a chance after game one. The Heat have a chance after game one. They shot the ball poorly. Game two, they make some shots. Look, they win game two. I don't think that Bam Adebayo, Gabe Vincent, Himmy Buckets, Duncan Robinson, Kevin Love, I don't think that Max Strus, I don't think these guys are out of it. Right? They got Udonis Haslam's won championship. Why am I having a total brain freeze right now?
Is what?
Kevin Love has won a championship. UD has won a championship. Like, they've got some guys that have been a part of these moments. And I was listening to a guy by the name of DJ Shipley. If you don't know who DJ Shipley is I believe, on record as the youngest individual to earn his make it through buds and become a Navy SEAL. I believe DJ Shipley's the youngest Navy SEAL that they ever had, because typically there's a lot of requirements. His father was in the Navy. He's got just an absolutely incredible story, but he was talking about anxiety and performance anxiety. And I couldn't help but think about who's AWOL right now from the Tigers. What's his name? Why can't I think
Austin Meadows.
Austin Meadows. Thank you. That's like 5 brain farts in 20 seconds, all because I just want to knock out Vegas's goaltender. But that's neither here nor there. But the performance anxiety.
And he's also, he has leave. It's not like he's just out.
Yeah, he's out, and what mental health or whatever. But the DJ Shipley talking about performance anxiety in how everybody deals with being anxious, right? Your nerves. And the only way to overcome that, and he was talking about how athletes might perform, in championship games when the lights are the brightest. How are you going to handle yourself? How are you going to be able to maximize your potential? Or are you going to let your nerves, as we call anxiety now, get the best of you, right? And he said that you have to become so obsessed with what you are anxious about that you could become so obsessed with it that it becomes second nature, right? It's in your practice, in your training. Now, by the way, his performance anxiety is in relation to life or death, not balls and strikes, not free throws. Like, he's talking about dropping into the field, into enemy territory, into a hostile environment, exchanging gunfire. Like, that's what he did for a living. Drastically different, but the concept is the same. Performance anxiety, right? How do you perform when your lights are the brightest? The Heat, they got enough on that bench right there to be able to provide their team with some experience in these big moments. We'll step aside. We're back with more X's and Bros after this. I'm going to take a deep breath during this commercial break here on the Michigan Sports Network.
From planting a simple seed to managing a global food supply, growing, processing, and distributing food is the backbone of America. You deal with food safety and labor issues, cost control, and not to mention Mother Nature. But do you have time to explore research development and biotechnical tax credits? Properly administer payroll for temporary employees. Ensure that you're operating at your most profitable? That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is America's food supply, our business is helping you run your business better. We'll assist with tax credits, assess your processes and controls, and so much more. And while we may not be able to help you plant your crops, we can help you realize a rich financial harvest. From the family farm to worldwide distribution of all the things you grow, grow your business better. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Bullying, lack of patience, cruelty to animals. Those are not good traits. They also happen to be critical warning signs of violence. June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, and the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to know that at-risk people often display warning signs before they resort to gun violence. Search online for 10 critical warning signs of violence and ask your local police department how you can safely make a difference.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations across Michigan. You're going to want to look into that unlimited monthly pass that I use. Superfly Hayes, my producer, uses it. I can get my SUV washed as often as I like for one low price. You can sign up today. Just go to MrCarWash.com or stop by your local Mr. Car Wash location here in Michigan for the one close to you. And to get that unlimited pass, go to MrCarWash.com.
Cada vez que te veo, me acuerdo de esos tiempos, con la cerveza al litro mirando la puesta del sol. El escritor ver una mesa colocada en la vereda, se juntaban los amigos a discutir la situación. Merhaba, vamos nada, Eva. Merhaba, vamos nada, Eva.
Dan, is that what you got for me? Whatever. I'm not calm at all, but I know that you tried to calm me down, so I appreciate that. Thank you for playing my song. Every time I see you too, Dan. Every time on the television. Great to have you ride along with us. Welcome back to X's and Bros,
Guess
Michigan
what?
Sports Network. What's up?
We have a non-calm guy on the line right now.
Oh, this isn't going to be good. Who do you have?
Freddie.
Oh,
Freddie, but guess what? He's also stuck in traffic.
Oh, man. Well, Freddie's stuck in traffic. Yesterday, Freddie looked like Mr. Clean yesterday. Nothing like a good deep clean, Freddie. How are you? You got a little renovation going on over there.
Yeah, as you know, always something going on in the restaurant business, grocery business. It's nonstop. You know,
every day.
Employees want everything, but they don't want to own it, but they want everything, right?
Oh, preaching to the choir, my friend. I'm gonna, you know what? I talked to my mom already this morning. I like to talk to her about 7:20 and then 9:04 every day, and yeah, it sounds like she's off to a good start. So that's a positive.
Yeah, I heard your little rant this morning. Oh, yeah, these people want to own everything, but they don't want to own up to it. You know, that's the way it goes, man. It's the way it goes.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's all right.
The cost of doing business is expensive.
Yeah, employees right now are sleeping, and the owner, me, I'm stuck on 96 and Telegraph when I'm normally at work by 8:15, and I'm still probably a half hour away. So whoever wants pizza on time, you can forget it. It probably ain't gonna happen. I don't know what is going on here. I mean, you got 275 closed, 96 in a traffic jam. I mean, what are we doing here?
Hey,
Seriously.
can we work on one project at a time? Can we dump all of our resources into one road at a time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I mean, seriously, I don't get it at all, man. So there should be a traffic jam on 75 with all those Tigers players going down to Toledo. That's what you think the traffic jam would be. I mean, Scott Harris. I mean, he stinks. Scott, who's Scott Harris? He stinks.
Oh man,
Fire
turncoat Benedict
Fire him.
Arnold over here.
No, I'm just kidding. He's doing good with the Velos guys. Just I don't know. It's just something going on there. They're lacking a little passion on they need a little bit more passion. I'd like to see a Vila, or it's not a Vila, AJ Hinch have a little bit of passion. So, anyways, you know, I won't keep you long, but I want to talk about yesterday because you set me up yesterday, and I appreciate that. So, I called in yesterday. I was talking about J-Mo. Every time there's a negative story, I said to you, there's always J-Mo's name is attached to it, and you said, is there any negative stories with the Lions? I said no, because what I meant by that was there is no negative stories, but when there is one, J-Mo's name is attached to it. So you set me up yesterday, and then you're sitting there making fun of me on the radio?
No. It just means he's one for one. You can't say every time that there's a negative story, J-Mo's name pops up. We have one bad off-the-field issue in 2.5 years of Dan Campbell's reign as the head coach. We have one issue, and Jameson Williams is one of the 5, potentially 6 guys now that's involved with it. That's it. We're one for one.
Well, see, that's where you're wrong, because it isn't just one story. You got what do you call it? When he was drafted, his disgusted face that Detroit drafted him. You can go on and on. So no, every time there's a negative story, it's about J-Mo.
His
So
disgusted
that's all.
face?
That's all. Yeah, he was disgusted. Go back and look at the draft tape. He was disgusted when his Lions drafted him. Come on now. You know this. Come on, you're Mr. Lion, man. I mean, Al Kaline is Mr. Tiger. You're Mr. Lion.
Hey, you know what's great is I asked Rory on Sunday. I said, hey, can we get a photo together? Because some people believe that I'm actually you. And he was like, what? And I'm like, yeah. He does speak English too, the Lion. He does. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, people think that I'm you. He's like, but we're on the field together at the same time. I said, I don't know. It's maybe you're a puppet. I'm not sure.
All you got to do is look in the mirror and take a selfie, and then there you go. You got Rory and Anthony.
Hey, by the way, our Rory was a former college kicker. Just fun fact.
At Bowling Green?
No. I can't reveal the actual university because I can't unmask the Lion. But yeah, he's a former college kicker.
All right. Well, listen, I've taken up enough time, and Michigan, the state of Michigan, get your roles together, man. I need to get to work, man. This is ridiculous. I love to work. Bye, guys.
See you, Freddie. All right, there he goes. Bye, Freddie. We got the start of mandatory minicamp for selected teams. Clubs are allowed to have 3-day mandatory practices. So that'll be good. That's the big date today. July 17th, we have our deadline for franchise tags. And April 3rd through the 6th, we have NFL kickoff weekend in Canton, Ohio, with the opening game of the 2023 season coming up September 7th. So we're right there. You know, NBA and NHL finals, the Stanley Cup Finals coming to a close, hitting the kind of the first stage of each of those series. And I got a feeling the Stanley Cup Finals isn't going to last very much longer. So enjoy it while it's on, and then we'll enter that crazy period, about a month or so. And time is just ticking away, man. Can never get a grip on it. But if I'm not mistaken, the Lions will open up minicamp today. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you're right. They're going to be the next 3 days. We yesterday at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, we saw John from alllions.com.
Oh yeah, yep, Macaroon.
Yep. So he was golfing a hole behind us. So he's like, I get to golf today, and then it's Allen Park for 3 days.
Yeah, June 6th through the 8th. By the way, let's hear a little bit about the Rocket Mortgage, man. Tell us a little bit what happened over there.
I found every tree imaginable on the Detroit Golf Club. Every tree.
It was a quite comical round. And Ryan didn't play poorly. He was just, hitting the ball 150 yards and then smoking a tree, and then it would just fall straight down.
Oh, a lot of punch shots.
Surprisingly, didn't lose as many golf balls as I had in previous years. Like, because you get in those roughs, and they're grown out. They're big areas.
You can't find a golf. You have to. You know how, like, if you're on a regular course, and you can just drive up into the rough and find a golf ball. You cannot do that. Like, you have to every single ball in the rough we looked for minutes.
Oh, that's brutal.
And it's not like they were far off. It was like, oh, this has got to be 5-6 feet off. We walked and walked and walked looking for golf balls.
Yeah,
there was literally one ball we were looking for 5 minutes in the rough. And then he goes, you know what? I'm just going to drop one and hit. And he hit it, and then I took one step and stepped on his ball.
Oh, good. Well, at least you found it.
So we found that one.
Nice. Yeah, I'd say a PGA Tour rough is different than PGA Tour greens are different than. And that course is still, what, three weeks away?
Yeah, 3 weeks away. They're repairing the two greens that were vandalized earlier in the year.
Savages.
But those greens were looking good. They're closed off for us to play on, so they had some false greens for those holes, but they were looking good. So, no, the course was looking great. The golf club, everything was looking pretty much set up. They just have a few more of the decks to set up for fans, which they announced yesterday. They have 6 full free public viewing decks throughout the weekend. So,
oh, really?
Yes. So
what do you mean by free?
Like
free?
They're free. They're
you have
the
a
most,
ticket.
The most in the PGA Tour.
If you have a ticket to the event, you don't need a extra ticket or pay extra to go to these public viewing decks. It's just first come, first serve seating.
And there's a spot. What do they call it? The birdhouse on the
treehouse.
The treehouse on the front. You can see a shot from every hole except for 3 on the front. Pretty cool.
Really?
Yep.
How do you get up there?
It's free. You just got to find it.
You walk to the back, or it's more the.
It's like right in the middle, because it's a Donald Ross design, so all the holes are, it's back and forth, back and forth.
Right, very very close to each other.
They so it's easy for them to do that.
Oh, that's a positive. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this, a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids, and now they're stronger than ever before with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew. Now, Dorn Mayhew is an east side firm. Now you get the west side of Michigan with Bean Carter, and whether you're a small business or big business, they can handle all of your accounting and business needs at Bean Carter. Just go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I mentioned with their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew, they cover all of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast. Find out how the pros at Bean Carter can help your business today. Go to beancarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. And I know Tom Rosenbach and his team are so happy about their new partnership with Dorn Mayhew.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Oh, got video of Dan on the street. Slow-mo.
Right off the grandstand.
Whack. Look at that. A screamer.
Yeah.
Par 3, I assume.
Yeah, that's the 313 area. That's 15. Hit it off the grandstand to about, I don't know, probably 5-6 feet off the green. Chipped it in for bird.
Really?
Yeah.
Off the grandstand.
Off the grandstand. It hit like the bottom of one of the seats that was, up, and it took a good bounce, and the pin was way in the back on this. Man, go out there and see these greens. It's a spectacle. It was way up on the back perch. Some would say this was probably an illegal pin based on the distance it was from the edge of the green.
Well, it's got to be what, three?
They say
three paces?
3 paces. Yeah, it was pretty close. So I put it high up in the air, took a couple bounces, rolled right in.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we were recording our tee shots, and then, of course, Ryan gets my terrible tee shot, but not my chip in.
Well, I mean that's the way it goes. It's not like you got cameras following you all over the place. It's not like you get to see the highlights of every round. On Sunday's round, there's a peninsula green on a par 3. There was 171, I think, and it always plays longer for whatever reason. And I was debating. I was like 8 iron, 7 iron, 8 iron, 7 iron. I was like, I'll hit the 7. There's this big tree behind the green, and dude, I just drilled. I just caught it thin and just balls going. I'm like, well, that's in the pond. Get ready to hit the drop area. Hit the tree and stayed alive.
I know all about hitting trees. Double digits yesterday, easily.
Double-digit trees?
Yeah. On one hole, I think I hit 4.
As a matter of fact, in one shot, he hit 2.
Yeah.
Well,
I was finding
and it ended up in the fairway.
If you were going to teach a young person golf, right, start around the greens, putting, chipping, things of that nature, and then work your way backwards. But definitely take the young person into the woods and drop a bucket of balls down there and teach them how to hit punch shots. And if you don't know how to hit punch shots, find somebody who does and let them teach that young person how to hit punch shots.
I actually did hit one punch shot that was pretty nice because I was in a gaggle of trees. There's 6 around me because you normally use that term for geeses. So that was surrounded by trees, so I just punched it out for a good 125 yards. Avoided those trees somehow. But everything else just is addicted. It's like I might as well just break a rake and throw it into the woods because that's where it's from. So it's just returning it home.
Go back to your home. Speaking of golf season is here, and Matt Golden and his team are ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan. Tullymore Golf Resort and Canadian Lakes, offering not 1 but 2 championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives. And trust me, at St. Ives, you can hit out from under the trees. In Tullymore, you go to the trees, that ball is gone. But St. Ives, you can be alive. It's located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant, smack dab in the middle of the state, so it's easy to get to. No matter what direction you are coming from, call my friend Matt Golden right now. Get on the phone, dial 1-800-972-4837, 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore Golf today, or, of course, you can always visit their website at tullymoregolf.com. Got a text here. You guys see that Steven Strasburg's contract, and he's only pitched 31 innings. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible deal. Guaranteed contracts are the worst. I am an at-will employee for all of my jobs, and if you don't show up, you don't get paid. I don't believe in unlimited PTO. I don't believe in, load management. I don't feel any sympathy for professional athletes who are dealing with all of these crises that has them missing games when they're not even injured. I don't believe in any of that because we have real people working real jobs, working real hard for a way lot less money, and it's just not comparable. So there's no point in getting aggravated about that either. You guys see that story? Kyrie is recruiting LeBron to come to Dallas. I did. Gag me. But do you think those three can play together? I could see Cuban and Ishbia competing against each other until one wins. Little ego arms race there between Ishbia and Mark Cuban.
We have our own billionaire owner.
Who's that? And we're going to win that arms race. We're going to do it. I do have a question, though. Do you remember where the Dallas Mavericks were at prior to Kyrie Irving getting there? This was actually brought up in the group chat this morning. They were right around 6th or 7th in the Western Conference. They were kind of bouncing back and forth, right? And it got brought up. And you go from 6th or 7th in the Western Conference to Kyrie Irving joining your team and not even making the playoffs. Not even making the playoffs. How does that happen? How? Well, I mean, it's the same way that Kyrie Irving almost blew up the Boston Celtics, and the same way that Kyrie Irving blew up the Brooklyn Nets, and the same way that Kyrie Irving blew up the Dallas Mavericks. The only success he's had is when his dad is running the show, and that's why he's recruiting LeBron to come to Dallas. That's why. Kyrie Irving has never won anything at any level. Dude played like 13 minutes at Duke, and he can't win without LeBron. And then he flaked out, which per usual. He flaked out in Cleveland, wanted to run his own team. Do you think you run the Dallas Mavericks now? Somebody in the group chat said his demands are pretty high. I said, bleep his demands. What do you care? What does anybody care what Kyrie Irving demands? Hall of really good. Hall of good highlights. That's about it. You're not available to play because load management, paid time off, or, whatever other reason that you're not out there on the court. So you only play in a small percentage of the games that your team plays anyways. You are ultra disruptive to the locker room. You are the worst person when it comes to culture. So I don't exactly know why anybody would want Kyrie Irving on their team. To be honest with you. Kyrie Irving of the Pistons right now, I'll pass. I don't want it. You can call me crazy all you want. That's totally fine. Devin Booker to the Pistons, I will take. Kyrie Irving, no. Nope. Don't want it. Don't need it. Don't like him. Don't have to. Just because the guy's got a great crossover and is, what a great finisher at the rim. Oh, great. Finish a season. How about that? How about you do that for me? How about you play more than 75 games? One time. How about you do that? Kyrie Irving recruiting LeBron to go to Dallas. Get out of here. LeBron needs more help. Anthony Davis and Darvin Ham and that group that he got together there. Darvin Ham, God bless him. He's a Michigan guy. He didn't really take any heat. All the heat went towards the Lakers roster. The other coach, Frank Vogel, he was out of there and they won a title. Man, it's crazy. Good to see Frank Vogel get rehired, though. Hopefully it works out for him in Phoenix. Which brings me to this. This is a great transition here. Good segue by that texter, because we keep hearing the term heat culture in what that means. And Coach Barlow touched on that when Pat Riley fired Stan Van Gundy and walked down from the ivory tower and decided to coach the team. And that 06 finals is probably one of the greatest individual finals performances by anyone ever. Dwayne Wade's numbers, go look it up. They are sensational. It's historic. And you think about what that means. And I want to go back to LeBron's first year in Miami. They were in Cleveland. It was a big hullabaloo. I think it was their second game against Cleveland, but it was in Cleveland. And they had a game in like Milwaukee or Chicago the next game. And LeBron had told Eric Spoelstra and the team, basically, that he was not going to get on the team flight. He was going to stay in Cleveland that night and hang out with his friends. And that he'll catch the next flight, whatever, to Milwaukee, and he'll get there and he'll be ready to go. He tells this, and as the story goes, the legend goes, Eric Spoelstra said, okay, picked up the phone, called Pat Riley. Coach Pat answered the phone. Eric Spoelstra handed the phone to LeBron. Paraphrasing here. Talk to Pat. And you bet your rear end LeBron James was on that plane. Now, there is something to be said about somebody like Pat Riley and somebody like Eric Spoelstra. And eventually we'll get into the conversation about where Eric Spoelstra fits sort of in this mold. Because anytime a team is doing really well, their coach will get a lot of praise. Deservingly so or not, their coach will get a lot of praise. It's very rare that a team is doing really well and they fire their coach. Insert Phoenix Suns. Thank you very much. We're looking very much forward to Monty Williams and an offense that might contain more than 3 passes per possession.
Pistons. Pistons did it. Just saying.
That's all I want.
The Pistons did it with Rick Carlisle and then turned out to be the right decision.
Oh, yeah. We've seen coaches do that. We've seen guys. I mean, hell, we hired Dwayne Casey. He couldn't get the job done. Nick Nurse did. And then Nick Nurse got fired. Right? Mike Budenholzer comes in, gets the job done, wins a championship. Coach Bud gets fired. Like it's a strange sort of carousel that we have in the coaching realm. And in basketball, maybe a little bit different. And in each coach in each respective sport has their own responsibilities. Like, what is A.J. Hinch responsible for, and how does that differ than what Dan Campbell is doing? And what is Dan Campbell doing? How is that different than what Derek Lalone is doing? Because in the NFL, you have a set play on every single play. Hockey, very much the free-flowing sort of transition sport where you have a system or a structure that you put in place, and whether your guys can execute that, I don't even know what the percentage would be, 40% of the time? Because outside of that, like, yeah, you want to get to very specific spots and how you get out into your break and things of that nature. But a lot of times, like, look, you steal the puck at mid-ice, like you're just going. Basketball, very much a transition sport, but also has it's got an element of hockey from the transition, but football from the set plays as well, right? So every coach's, depending on what sport you're in, every coach's responsibilities and day-to-day tasks are going to be a little different. But one thing must be solid, and that is the culture that you are trying to establish. Now, a lot of people think it's overrated. And what culture should mean to you is that my team can withstand, our franchise can withstand any personality that were to walk through that door. That person is going to assimilate to what we have going on here already. This is something that Rip Hamilton has talked about. This is something that Carmelo Anthony has talked about. When the Pistons passed on Carmelo and drafted Darko, how that might have changed not only the trajectory for the Pistons, but how that might have changed the trajectory for Carmelo Anthony in his career because of the culture that was established and that was in place from guys like Ben Wallace, who did play an entire, I don't forget how many games at the end of one of his seasons in Orlando with a broken foot. But if you bring in a guy that is offensively gifted like Carmelo, but isn't bought in on the defensive side, as a young person, you can help shape, mold, and change for the positive the trajectory of that person's career. Melo went from spot to spot to spot, scoring 27 points a game in a loss. So what does it really matter? Well, it doesn't. And that's why culture in sports, culture in the workplace, and it's widely overused. We got to have a good culture. All right, well, what is our culture? Can you define it? And if you lay out this definition of what your culture is, if I were to walk into your place of business right now, is it something that I can visually see? Is it something I can verbally hear? Is it something with any sort of nonverbal communication? Can I understand what's going on in your place of business? And that's why a guy like Kevin Love, who's unhappy with his situation in Cleveland, and I get it. You're an old vet. You're not seeing. You think you could still contribute. You could ask for a trade. Okay, they'll trade for you. Pat Riley sees some value there. They make that deal. Kevin Love comes to this team, and as talked about by other guys on that squad, is always interjecting himself into the game. He's become a vocal leader with some sarcasm, said Kyle Lowry after game 2, but talking about how he's always in tune with what's going on. That's one of the things that, at the youth level, if you could preach to your kids, if you're coaching, or if you're a parent that's playing, even if you're not in the game, you got to be checked in at all times. Like, we're only asking for, 7 innings in a T-ball game, maybe less. We're asking for, 4 6-minute quarters or 8-minute quarters or whatever in youth and high school basketball. It's not that long. Can you stay mentally checked into what's going on? That's why you have guys like Udonis Haslem in his final season, a guy like Kevin Love, who might play 10 minutes in a game and not appear in the next one, but is constantly engaged in what's going on, even though he's not physically out there. That kind of stuff, with Kyle Lowry as well, trickles down to the rest of the bench. And now everybody's a part of it, and everybody's in sync. They're all mentally checked in on every possession, so that when your name and number is called, you know who you're guarding, you know who you're going in for, you know what you're trying to execute, you know the time, the score, the situation. Like, all of those things matter, and that's why culture matters. And it was something that was established by Pat Riley, that has gone through Shaq and D. Wade for a title, that circus that was LeBron, Chris Bosh, and D. Wade for 4 years that led to 2 titles. And they were able to rally and rebound and add a guy like Jimmy Butler, that this is something that a guy like Jimmy Butler is looking for. He's looking for this kind of culture. We're here to win basketball games. That's why we're here. No other reason. Not here to sell shoes. I'm not here to be in commercials. I'm here to win basketball games. All that other stuff will come with the popularity and the notoriety of being able to do it at the highest level when the lights are the brightest right now in the NBA Finals. And when guys get injured, Jimmy Butler talked about it, guys get injured, other guys come in, everybody knows what their role is, their egos are in check. We know what we have to do as a team. Like, all of this stuff matters. And that's why when there was so much chirping about Dan Campbell just being a culture guy and apparently didn't know anything about football, that we all knew way more than he did. And, all he could do is culture. It matters. It matters to be able to get some of these personalities in line with what you want to do, not only for the betterment of that individual player, but for the betterment of the group. Like, I need we guys, not me guys. That's what I need. I need we shots over team shots, or pardon me, team shots over me shots throughout the course of a basketball game. Culture matters. Hey, folks, step into a world of nonstop action with DraftKings Casino. Play the classics like blackjack, roulette, slots, plus enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers who deposit at least $5 get a match on their first deposit and score up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. All you have to do is sign up, select the offer of your choice, and start playing from a full suite of games. Download the DraftKings Casino app right now. Sign up using the promo code HUGE and get a match on your first deposit of $5 up to $2,000 in casino bonus funds. Only at DraftKings Casino. Only use the promo code HUGE. If you know somebody has a gambling problem, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. One per opted-in customer, minimum $5 deposit, max match $2,000 deposit, and bonus amount required 15 times playthrough within 30 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions to apply. For Dan and Ryan, I'm Anthony. So long. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Michigan Sports Network.
Imagine this: winning big at Soaring Eagle. Have a blast with Rolling Thunder Camper Giveaway. Saturdays in June, 2 players every hour win $1,500 premium play. On June 24th, the 11 p.m. winner rolls out in a new Coachman Catalina Legacy Edition. It's Rolling Thunder Camper Giveaway, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
The Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police wants you to know that June is Gun Violence Awareness Month. Why do we need to recognize gun violence? Because we can stop it before it happens. Many people contemplating an act of gun violence display significant or sudden changes in their behavior. If you know what to look for, you can be the difference. Search 10 critical warning signs of violence or contact your local police department to learn more.
Hey, this is Matt Shepard from the Michigan Sports Network. I love summers in Michigan because it means golf season. Now, 2 things always when I go golfing. I make sure I got my sticks, and and I've got plenty of cold, fresh Labatt Blue Light. Whether I've just squeezed in 18 holes or I just want to relax on the patio after a long day, everywhere I go, and I'm serious when I tell you this, I tell people about the smooth, genuine taste of Labatt Blue Light. It's just a great beer. Michigan Sports Network is giving you a chance to win a foursome to Michigan's best courses. Just listen weekdays to The Huge Show and X's and Bros, or just text GOLF to 21,000 to enter. That's GOLF to 21,000. The trip includes 2 overnight stays and 2 rounds of golf, all brought to you by my friends at Labatt Blue Light. So grab a Labatt Blue Light the next time you head out onto the course and enjoy the blue skies, because blue is for Michigan summers and great times. Always enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt is a registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll,